Hello, Rich. Thank you for joining the ritual this morning.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Karma. I appreciate the invite.
Yes. So I see you chose Endura Boost. What made you choose that this morning?
Oh goodness. I think EnduraBoost, I think it provides me with all the things I need to get through a busy day. I spend a lot of time on the court. I need a lot of energy, but also at the same time, I need to have the ability to stay calm and stay grounded in everything that I do. And it just provides a great option to do all those things I'm looking for. The fact that it's natural and it's got a great taste to it just makes the best sense for something for me to use on and off the court.
This was my very first blend. I brew it like this in glass pitchers to escape the microplastics,
I
but
like it.
it's really the blend that made Pure and Easy Tea our foundation. 8 ingredients, three of them adaptogens, helping the body against stress, stressful environment, increasing
Yeah.
blood flow to your muscles, to your brain. With ginkgo biloba, gotu kola. Truly amazing blend. I drink it
Yeah.
on the daily.
It's great. It's great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So
Yeah, it's great.
now, as we get into the ritual, we have escaped the noise. You brewed your tea. You have a moment to yourself, a moment of calm. I want to ask you, what is most important in your life right now?
Oh man, what a great question. I think that, obviously the most popular answer is obviously family, and I hate to be redundant, but it is for me as well. I'm 51 years old. I am married. I've been married to my wife now for 4 years.
Mhm.
A little late to the game, but we have two beautiful children. We've got a nearly 3-year-old little girl named Lucy, and then we've got a 6-month-old son named Coulter. And so, having a family is always something that I wanted. I was married once before, and it obviously didn't work out. And it was a situation where I didn't know if I would get married again or have the opportunity to have a family. It's something
Mhm.
I've always wanted. And, when I met my wife is just the most awesome person in the world. She's our rock, and it does everything for us. Most selfless person and the most kind person I've ever met in my life. And so
Wow.
to have her in my life and to have the two beautiful kids that we have, obviously that's the most important thing to me. I think obviously before you have kids and before you have a family, everyone says, "Oh, it would be great to have that," and everyone says, "Oh, it's so important." But I always used to think, my friends would tell me, "Hey, wait till you have kids, it changes everything." And when you're on the outside, you're like, don't, maybe it changes you a little bit, but it truly does change you in a way
Wow.
you can't even believe. When you meet your significant other and you have love for that person, you're like, "Oh man, I don't know if I can have any more love." And then to see your children is just a different, not necessarily more love. Again, I'm a big God following. You need to love your wife and know those things, and that's number one. But it's just a
Mhm.
different type of love when you talk about your kids, and not only to have those be so many things I'm thankful for, but also the pressure of having to support those kids and those families.
Mm.
I think that's important, and that's one of the things we do. It gives you a different direction, a different purpose in your life that maybe you didn't have before.
Okay, now let's talk about our gratitudes. What would you say today you're feeling? What are the top three things you're most grateful for?
Whew, that's great. Well, I think one of the greatest things, obviously, talking about the support I have from my family, that's one of the major ones.
Mhm.
But also, my health. I think that's one of the things that not only just doing what I do, but the life that I've led and the choices that I've made, and health is a really important part of my life. And I feel like being 51 and having young kids, like health is not just a thing I'm thankful for, but it's a priority, right? I want to be able
Yeah.
to get down on the floor with my kids and have a good time and enjoy the time I have with them. So not only is it something that I'm grateful for, but it's still a priority in my life. And it's
Mhm.
such a big part of my life, whether it's playing tennis or playing pickleball or playing golf or working out.
Mhm.
Having my health is something that's so important to me.
Right.
So I would say my family and my health, and then also
Mhm.
just um, some of the reconnection I've had with my siblings over the last
Mm.
probably 6 months or so, 6 months to two
Wow.
years. We were close, growing up. I have two older sisters, and my parents got divorced when I was 6 years old. My sisters and I are all about 5 years apart, and so not that we weren't close, but me living here and them living in Kansas, there was
Mhm.
there was connection, but not the same type of connection. And then my mom passed away probably about 3 years ago, right before Lucy was born, probably about 6 months before my daughter was born.
Oh, wow.
And it just really got to a point where we really reconnected. And so my sister that's just above me, so I'm the baby of the family, but my sister that's just above me, we were always fairly close. We're very similar. But my oldest sister, being a little bit, she's about 10 years older than I am. We were close when we were young. She kind of took on a little bit of a motherly role. And then as we got older and I got older, we kind of just went different directions. Not any bad, not animosity or anything like that. But
Right.
When my mom passed away, we really reconnected quite a bit. And she's actually been out and come to the house from Kansas and stayed with us numerous times over the last 2.5 years, just to be able to get close to the kids. I think she's kind of taken over the mantle of trying to be kind of a grandma to our kids a little bit.
Oh, very nice.
Around a little bit. I think she's we haven't talked about it, but it seems to be that she's kind of relishing that a little bit more. And so it's been really awesome to kind of reconnect with her and just have that become such a very special part of my life and also my kids' lives as well.
Okay, now what would you like to release and maybe stop doing or stop being?
I don't know if we got enough time. But no, I think one of the things that we all do, and again, I'm not trying to pigeonhole everybody, but we all get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of our lives, right? Yes. Especially having 2 kids now, it's hard to take time for yourself, and it's hard to adjust, and it's hard to stay patient in the crazy world we live in, and and not be overreactive to things, whether it's social media, whether it's problems at work, whether it's problems in the home, whatever it might be. One of the things that I've really worked on, and not just in the last year or so, but it's kind of been a journey over the last 10 years or so, is just patience with things. And again, I know it's a cliche, is only worry about the things you can control, right? And it's such a cliche, but it's so important. And that's one of the things I felt like over the last 5 years or so, I've gotten to a point where I really feel like I've got a good handle on that. But it does take some mental fortitude, and it does take some conscious decisions. I mean, I think that's one of the things, is that I always want to make sure that everything I do, that I'm trying to be intentional with it. I think that I think sometimes we all start just kind of floating through our lives, and we just get wrapped up almost like it's on borderline cruise control. And it's like, my goal is to try and stay intentional with everything I do, whether it's with my career, whether it's with my family, whether it's with anything in my life, is being intentional and being real direct as far as what I'm trying to accomplish, and also what I'm trying to present to everybody.
Okay, now lastly, we're coming up here on our time as well together. What would you like to claim? So if you can manifest anything, create anything, what would it be in this moment?
I'm always trying to put good things out into the world, and I think that's one of the things I like to try and claim. I mean, even with my team here that I work with here, is that I've told them all, I said, I'll never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do or I haven't already done. And so that's one of the things that I try and have as a foundational principle, and making sure too that, like, you're being respectful of everyone's time, you're being respectful of what they're doing, you're being respectful of the things they're going through in life, but also at the same time, we're here to try and get things accomplished too. And so I think that having that stuff and being able to function and focus on those things is very important. Like I said, I'm a big believer in what you put out there is kind of the same vibe and thing you get back. And so I try as much as I can to be a positive person. Are there times that I fail? Absolutely, 100%. I'm not perfect. No one is. We have trials and tribulations that we go through. Sometimes we wake up and the sun is shining and the birds are singing, and other times it's not. Right. It's like, how can we make those things, those days that when we're not at our best or feeling our best, how can we make those days better? I've started to become more of a believer in, it's a choice to be what mood you want to be in.
Perspective is everything. Yes.
Yeah. The questions that you ask, I think, are meaningful questions, and they're things that I don't think people spend enough time talking about or even thinking about.
It's definitely not, and that's the whole point of this. Rich, I thank you so much for being a valued member of the Pure and Easy Tea community. And I wish you all the best. Thanks so much for being here today and sharing.
Cheers, my pleasure.